It is time to crusade Deus Vult for a third time for the Plantagenets, and the first time for Henri the Monk, King of Aragon. You see, there are a lot of wars and battles happening in Aragon as we speak. But before we raise our forces and send them to Jerusalem, there are a few other things we need to take care of first. But as always, hello everybody, I am Realm Builder Guy, and welcome back to the channel and Crusader Kings 3. First off, I'll look up here, we've got an available Dynasty Legacy to go down for none other than Henri to pick. Of course, he's actually quite martial now, a 20 in martial, a 32 in intrigue. He is a confider, a schemer, an elusive shadow. So going down something military or law or guile might not be a bad thing to do. So if we look at the mastery of underhanded schemes and rule founded on fear, ominous reputation increases dread gain and natural dread. It also goes down here to long reach, natural schemers, venial, and family connections. The other one is House of Warriors that I believe could work, and that increases prowess and knight effectiveness. And then you get generational belligerence, squire traditions, inherited tactics, and private army. Even though warfare could be an option, I think going down the guile route is the one that works perfectly for our character, for Henri, who is this. He is a man of underhanded schemes. So we will unlock this. So dread gain goes up by 20% and natural dread goes up by 15. So we do have head of faith claims we can ask for. We can look at Genoa as well as the Duchy of Provence. So those are ones to think about. If we look at, let's scroll in here, and here we have Genoa, here we have the Piedmont, and here we've got Bohemia, of all places. So, I mean, there are a few interesting claims. I mean, Genoa is rather large that we could look into here as possibly claiming this one. We don't have any connections here directly, but gosh, that Riviera would be an interesting one to go after. Now let's go actually to our council. Actually, no, what I want to do is we need to look at our court and our court positions. We have a few positions here that require our attention. Antiquarian is a nice one to add. It's not terribly expensive. So if we look at someone here, Humbert, our court physician, would be good at this as well. So yeah, that might not be bad to add him to the antiquarian position. Caravan master, excellent here, Humbert as well. Idlal would be a good one here. Richwin Gwyneth would be, even though he's a content fool, he is one of our knights, so we will add him as caravan master. I was also pointed out that finding a court tutor would be good. And here, Guichard may not be bad. He's average. Humbert, again, our physician, would be a pretty good one to appoint to that position. Don't know if we can also make him our antiquarian. We have Master of the Hunt, which is, of course, very nice. And Master of the Horse. Master of the Horse. Richwin would be good. Duke Angilbert of Champagne would be a good one. Count Jocelyn de Chartres would also be a good one. So how about we turn Duke Angilbert into our Master of the Horse. And Master of the Hunt is also a nice one because, again, it bumps up court grandeur. Count Bleve of Avranches would be a nice addition. He'd be excellent at this, so we will appoint him to that position. So now we've got our court positions all taken care of, and we can begin raising our army to head to the Holy Land. For that, let's take a look at our commander, Rishwin Gwyneth. He is a gout-ridden intrigue. Gout-ridden. I don't know if gout-ridden would be an excellent choice. Let's see who else there is. Duke Angevin would be very good. Count Jocelyn of Chartres wouldn't be bad either. So he's a military engineer. He's a forest fighter, and he's an aggressive attacker. Sieges will be important for this, so Duke Angevin will actually lead our forces into the Holy Land. So let's just scroll out here and take a look at the Holy Land. Now, we don't want to just blindly run into this. Who controls Nicosia? That's part of the Byzantine Empire. So it might not be back. Who... Okay, these are all... Yeah, that would all be a case of going to war with all of these. So landing somewhere down here wouldn't be too bad. So first off, we are going to send our troops. Historically speaking, we are going to send them right down here. Let's just go to Siracusa. Let's head to Sicily to begin with. Because historically, what you often had was Sicily was a jumping off point for many crusaders who then also from there went to Cyprus and then did their landing. So we're going to kind of follow that as well, just to keep an eye on how things are going. Servants and masters. Fabrice, Duke Thibault's knight, is firmly in my grip. However, with the right strategy, I might raise my upper hand even further. Perhaps Fabrice could be used to extend my influence over the Duke. Here is how you be certain to uncover Thibault's secrets. Absolutely. It's 97% chance he will find things. So we're going to do that. Financially, we're actually still in the plus right now, which is really nice. Fabrice could find no incriminating information about Duke Thibault. So it was a good thing I had prepared it myself. All of a sudden, Thibault seems to be beset by foul rumors, and I happen to hold all the evidence in my hand. Fortuna helps those who help themselves. Take a look here at the military strength. We've got 40,000 on the papal side of the armies, and the Shia Caliphate has, let's call it 20,000. So this will be an interesting crusade, to say the least. We definitely don't want to be caught out here without any allies to help us along. There you can see our 6,000 men are now going through the Straits of Gibraltar on their way to Sicily, and from there we will then head over to Cyprus, and from Cyprus we will then launch our invasion. We do have a new intrigue lifestyle perk to unlock. We'll turn that down to 1 speed in the meantime. And fear tax. So intimidated vassal tax contribution goes up 15%. Terrified vassal tax contribution goes up 30%. And levies go up in the same amount. Now we can see, now we're losing money, as expected. I was surprised we were making some money, but losing 4 gold a month when we have 11,000 in the bank, we can finance this war. I'm not concerned about it because just the positive gains from this cannot be overstated. Our troops have now arrived in Sicily. So now I want to land here in Cyprus before we launch our armies. We could see we've got a really good large Crusader army heading down there as well. Spouse, the guard. I'm a little confused as to why my wife wants to present a grand gift to me in the courtyard. I soon understand, however, that Queen Eleonora orders a group of soldiers into line. Complete regiment raised from my own lands, ready to serve you. This is a grand gift. More troops to bolster the army. Yeah, you get an army of 495 men in Anjou. Oh, okay. Why not? Thank you very, very much. So we're going to head here to Cyprus while all of these Crusader armies land down here. We are going to go straight here into Tripoli, Damascus, Acre, and so on, and kind of sweep up from this side with our armies. We'll see how that goes. We've got another 15,000 coming up from the south. So Crusader armies are definitely swarming these lands. We'll keep an eye on. There are 19,000 heading to the south. So we'll just let those guys head down here and fight that out. We, in the meantime, are going to land on the shores of Tripoli. And that's quite the battle here in the desert. And the Crusaders are going to lose that one. That was once again poorly coordinated. See, we're going to have to keep an eye on this large force. If they're heading all the way back to Tripoli, we may have to head out of Tripoli here again, break off this siege, and head back to Nicosia in the meantime. Yeah, so we're not going to stand there and fight against 19,000. That was not a good bet. If we need to get out of there before they all show up and take it to us. Will they catch us before we... Ah, dang it. They caught us before we were able to make it onto the ships, and our army is going to be decimated in Tripoli by the defenders. That is not good. Ebba de Tilly was slain in the Battle of Tripoli. So now we're going to have to head back north and regroup and rebuild. I thought we could get out of there before that. And that's all down to these poorly coordinated Crusader attacks. I mean, if they could just get their armies together better, then that would definitely work. But we are here in Anatolikon at the Despot Gabriel's home, and we need to slowly rebuild our troops here before marching down south. Keep an eye on this. It's poorly coordinated, poorly executed invasion of the Holy Land so far. And Richwin Gwyneth has died. He's no longer our caravan captain. And once again, the papal army's defeated. Oh, gosh. The AI, man. The AI sometimes is so brutally ineffective. And at 61%, the crusade for the Kingdom of Jerusalem is falling apart. And it really shouldn't. There's really no reason why this should happen, because the Crusader armies have overwhelming force. You inherited the Duchy of Aragon, to other titles from Princess Sarah of Aragon. Sarah Plantagenet. Okay. So now we have gained those titles simply because she lost those titles. Oh boy. Oh boy. So now we've got far too many domains. We're above the domain limit. And let's see, we've got the Duchess here. And our Aragonese lands have kind of fallen apart in the meantime, whilst we're also dealing with this nightmare here. So it's once again, we are holding too many duchies, too many other holdings. So to kind of deal with that, we're going to start divvying up some of these Aragonese holdings. Start with the Zaragoza Castle. We will grant this one to 17-year-old Pierre de Pardiac could grant him that. He becomes your vassal. He's a genius. So we're going to grant that to him. And then we also need to give away Fraga as well. So who are we going to grant that title to? Auger de Troyes. He's not bad. He would be, I think, a pretty good leader in there. Mathieu de Belen. I think we will grant him that title as well. That takes care of too many holdings. And now the Duchy of Aragon, we will grant this to. And we're not going to go with our daughter at this point. We'll give this to Count Pierre of Zaragoza. He remains our vassal, of course, and that increases his opinion of us, and we take care of those problems. So our daughter's been unlanded. It's frustrating, but now I can also see how Henri might deal with that. To the contemptuous King Henri, may wisdom ever elude you. Oh boy, the French. The King of France has declared war for Duke Richard's claim on the Duchy of Champagne. Now we need to rally the troops. And I'm sorry, our troops are stuck here in the Holy Land. And we need to get back home as quickly as possible to defend our lands. And with that, we've already in the meantime lost lands here. Duke Albert has grabbed the lands here because Duke Lancaster has joined England, and now Aragon is completely falling apart. I did not even see that happen because we're so focused on the crusade. Here come large French armies, and everything is starting to fall apart and unravel for King Henri. Another war declared to the reclusive King Henri. May Allah destroy your house. Iberian reclamation of Aragon from that emir. Oh boy, everything is just falling to pieces here. So we can't call him for that, but we can call in our brother to help in Aragon. And more allies. Auvergne can't fight against their own king. So we're left completely alone to deal with the French king. We need to designate a guardian for Sarah. Leans very strongly diplomacy and learning. So who would be a good diplomacy tutor? We don't really have one there. High learning, Humbert. Yaish, our courtier, as far as stewardship goes. So Humbert. Let's send her there. And are things falling apart? We're known for our dedication to our faith, but that doesn't really help us. The consecration of Ballon. Archbishop Manasses excitedly enters your halls. My lord, I bring word of the completion of Ballon's new church. The faithful of men may now honor God in a place worthy of its divinity. May the Lord bless us all. So now, if we look at this, we've got a war here to the south and a war against France that honestly that's not going to end well. That is not going to end well at all. We've got our allies coming in to help us here. So now we need to find some mercenaries. And none of these mercenaries are going to help us too much. The Band of Poitiers, we're going to raise them. And we're going to have to bring all of our troops together and figure out a good strategy to deal with this. I mean, can we even defeat the French in the field? I mean, we don't have the troops, and dealing with this war down here in Aragon be very, very difficult as well. These are hostile. What's happening down here in southern France? Nothing. Okay, that's an interesting one. But we are going to send our troops, our army, and we're just going to go right to Paris. We're going to march straight into Paris to see what we can do. The crusade, in the meantime, by the way, is completely falling apart. We've got a shirked duty and a mental break we're dealing with. Damnation, I need to find time for myself. All be gone, all of you. He's going to become reclusive. He simply cannot handle these stresses anymore. His realm is falling apart. He has lost his heir. And now he's in a war with France. And we are dealing with the Ile-de-France. Fort level is too high. Add better siege men at arms, so the fort level is too high. It's going to take 4 years. Do you like my stew? Mixed in with pieces of vegetables or fatty chunks of meat and stringy texture interrupted. The exact content of my meal does not matter. No, absolutely not. Okay, so we cannot besiege France. Paris. That's just not going to happen. As I enter the kitchen, it lies dark and empty, the air heavy with smoke. In a corner, I find Odien's cookbook covered in stains. When cooking liver, it has been noted that excessive beer consumption can significantly lower the quality of the organ. A cold feeling settles in my chest as I turn to the other page. However, when cooking younger children beneath the age of... yeah, we are going to throw her into the dungeon. Now, we have allies coming into this, but that's still not going to help. Defeat. Broken Cross. The warriors of St. George found only death and humiliation at the gates of Jerusalem. The crusade, so eagerly called and supported by Pope Ioannis, ended in a disastrous defeat that has only hurt the cause of the faithful. This surely emboldened more blasphemers and infidels to further stray from Catholicism. So that is the end of that one. Now what do we do? Well, can we rally our troops and head here? That is the big question. I mean, battling the French, this isn't gonna go well. We have 1,300 soldiers. That's not good. Oh, wait, where these troops, where did you go? You didn't even show up? This is all getting a little bit confusing. We lost that battle, got completely annihilated. That was weird. Thought I sent the entire army over here to Paris. That would explain why that siege wasn't happening. That's very odd. I thought I had selected the entire army to head over here and take this. But we are definitely in trouble. I didn't even catch this. I was so focused on other things that that completely eluded me. And then we've got this happening here. Gosh, this is just falling apart. We've got a new Intrigue lifestyle perk, Forever Infamous, Prison Feudal. Imprison chance plus 50%. So we're going to head here. And Henri's kingdom is... It's all falling apart now. And we're going to have to reevaluate the future for sure. We've got someone who can be sponsored. In the past few days, neighboring Countess Fronil has been visiting my court on her way to some holy site or something. Since her arrival, she has been outshining me with her generosity towards my own courtiers, who have all been lapping up her gold with no dignity. I can't help but scoff when I see her surrounded by adorning courtiers for the umpteenth time. My courtiers. A purse for you, good Salomea, and some coins for you also, kind Siswil. And for you, sweet Morgana. Sweet honey cakes. Remember, riches are meant to be shared. I can be even more generous. No. I should take advantage of her silly generosity, too. I believe Fronil has outstayed her welcome. Better her spending than me. Inspiration project, we can sponsor that for 50 gold for some regalia. Alright, now let's go back to everything falling apart. This really bothers me up here. That swath in Normandy taken from us. That's a huge, huge issue. So we cannot defeat the French for sure. We need to rebuild our armies now and possibly head south here because Aragon is being attacked from there. Then looks like there are some internal wars down here in the south. I don't even know what that is for. So these are some internal vassal wars in southern France. And the French armies, they're just too powerful. There's no chance we have there. In New Forge, my beneficiary, Siswil, approaches me with a frown, burnt eyebrows, and some bent metal. My lord, I meant no disrespect. This forge of yours, let's just say that if you want the regalia to be at all elegant, you're gonna have to invest in a new one. Of course, whatever you need. A scheme at court. My spy master has come to me with grave news. While we do not yet know who, someone is plotting to kill me. Oh man, this could be quite... I mean, I always say this, you know, this could be a very eventful episode, but it seems like we've never not had one. I have arrived at Angers to pay homage to you, as Countess Mary of Bayeux. Fine. You may come and pay homage. I accept your generous gifts. So grandeur has now gone up to 7. So Richard of Poitiers, we can't call him in against his own liege. Dynasty members, we can call them in. The Pomeranians, we can call in other places. Apparently we cannot. But we do have some claims. Inspiration uplayed. Time disappears in Siswi's shop, drinking wine as we excitedly discuss the regalia she is making for me. Am I imagining things, or is there an indiscernible tension? The hour has grown late when my metalsmith puts down her tongs, takes a deep quaff from her goblet, and smiles at me knowingly as she can't deny something stirs in me. My heart quickens, and I find myself holding her in my arms. She embraces me in return. What is happening? Oh, c'est sweet. So what do we actually have where we can get some claims? Provence, Istria, East Anglia, Austria, Verona, Bavaria, Genoa. And there are a lot of claims here we can grab. And I think it wouldn't be bad to grab the Duchy of Provence, as that is, you know, within, say, traditional France, at least. And we can claim another one, Genoa. We can actually push it further down along that coast. I think Genoa would be nice as well to add to our claims, because you just never know what happens. Our court physician has passed away, who's also the court tutor, so we need to find a new one. And none of these are actually good at that. So we are going to search for a physician. In the meantime, things continue to fall apart here. In my opinion, the cause is lost in the north, so we need to head down to Iberia. This world is full of dangers, even to a king and his court. As per my request, my servants have inquired after recommendations. Now they've assembled a few options to choose from. Apparently, Agnes is quite experienced. She is a physician, or Bouchard. He is a novice physician. Now we will take the actual physician instead of the novice physician. Humbert has died. Alliance has expired with Armagnac. Ugh, this is not good. Inspiration. Considered opinion. My metalsmith Sisuil updates me on her progress, droning on about the limits of tongs and bellows as my mind reels with bold ideas for my regalia. Making may not be my personal forte, but that doesn't mean I can't have a say in how the money is spent. I have a few suggestions. My background gives me some unique insights. Nosuswil knows what she is doing. I trust her. We are, let's just say, allied to a degree. So we are losing lands here in northern France, and we're going to lose Champagne. I mean, this is gone. We simply cannot fight against the French. France is far, far too powerful. But I do not want to lose the Iberian lands as well. So we're going to head down here with our allies to take care of this. A gift artifact. Inspiration. A name to remember. My lover, Sisuil, approaches me with a thoughtful expression. Is there anyone special to you, my lord? To my beloved Eleonora, only the Lord guides me, and there's no need for dedication. There's no need for a dedication. My dear brother, Maine's lament, we need some resources for the troops. If one small village in Maine has to starve, the heated argument between my counselors follows me out of the room, and Count Jocelyn, representative from Maine, greets me with tired eyes as I approach. Here, this decree will force them to leave you alone. Accept this humble gift. It was a treasured possession of mine. Thank you. English tender touch. We will do that. A familiar reflection. I remember the day when my daughter Sarah was born, my charming daughter. Memories like these bring me comfort. No matter what happens, know that my family is there for me, and that House Plantagenet stands strong. By God and sword. Sword? Sword. I whisper under my breath. I will treasure the thought. Chalon is under siege, but what we need to do is, again, this is lost at this point. I think what we're going to do here, instead of draining those resources, we are going to surrender. So be it. And with that, that actually goes to Poitiers now. So, it's not all lost, to be perfectly honest. This is now part of Poitiers to Duke Richard and our brother. I thought it was a different Richard. I was looking at this Richard, the Duke of Lancaster. Instead, it was a war with our brother. You know, at the end of the day, it's still in Plantagenet hands. That was frustrating, and now I know where things stand, but I am not too troubled. We need a new leader of our army. The easing of tensions, if that is possible between myself and Count Othon, seems to confirm he has abandoned his vendetta against House Plantagenet. Okay, we need a new commander here. And we will add, not Captain Emery of the Band of Poitiers. We will instead, Count Jocelyn of Chartres will lead our army here. And we are going to head down south to confront the infidels. And ideally, all of our allies come with us. Like these guys here. Yes, thank you. Thanks for the delayed reaction, CK3 AI. So now it is time to destroy the infidels. They're drawing in their troops. And now in Leda, a large battle will ensue. Will our allies come in time? They do. They do, and we will destroy them. We've lost a counselor, but first, this battle will come to a conclusion, and victory is ours. Sway, the English culture, a commoner of English heritage, has been accosted in the streets of Anjou over some minor offense. By making a statement in their defense, I could perhaps convince my chancellor, Countess Catherine, the equally English of my good character. No. The English are good people. Angevin are the superior moral fiber. Glory is widely known. So now we will take our army and move it in here and retake our lands. Let's add a new spy master. Inspiration realized. This is lovely. Over here, my lord. My lover Cecile waves me over with a wide grin. I've toiled many days and nights, and finally my work is done. She presents me with an object wrapped in cloth, and as I lift the fabric, my eyes grow wide. A beautiful regalia of excellent craftsmanship. It consists of a gold scepter set with pieces of emerald, a velvet cloak that has been embroidered with silver thread, and a gold cross-bearing orb. This is lovely. So now we need to find a spy master. Intricate web weaver, Count Vicence of Orléans. He might have to be the man to put into this position, because nobody else here is that. So we're going to assign him, and we're actually going to start swaying him to our side. Well, it's time to reclaim our lost lands, and then we're going to launch an invasion south and take on Al-Andalus itself. Sarah needs a new tutor. And let's see, who would be good here? Yaish, our knight. Yes, he will be her tutor. We have too few knights. Eustache, we're going to recruit you to court. Honestly, we need knights, we need accolades to be restored. There's a lot we need to do here. So Eustache could be, yes, that accolade. Invite accolades. Anyway, I'm going to deal with that here in a second. There we go. We need to appoint someone to the Death of Demons. Mayor Adalbert. The Fox of Tours. Whoop, that's not what I want. What we do need to do is invite knights. Send the herald out. We need to find more knights. Infiltrators. It has come to my attention that some local commoners are moving to Orléans, the capital of Spymaster Count Vicence. Locals, newly settled or not, praising me can surely do no harm to his perception of me. Take the skull to make sure you're heard. I'll appoint the Knight of Purity, Eustache, for that. And you know what? We're gonna get rid of some of those accolades. Just be done with him. He needs a successor. I'll recruit, God, 170. That's just not gonna happen. I'm not gonna spend that money. He needs a successor. Seek a successor for that accolade. In the meantime, our daughter, who is our heir, we need to find a spouse for her. Unfortunately, there's just nobody there that is of much interest. We could recruit Henrik to court for 75 gold. We will. He's a really good knight. Heading back to Iberia, keeping an eye here. So that siege has been won. Our allies are moving in now here. They take those. That'd be nice. Our siege is going to come to a close here. Tidbits from far away. Visiting the local market, a merchant from a faraway land catches my attention. Come closer, my lord. Marvel at treasures never before seen in these lands. Had to watch my back to get these beauties out, I did. Never sleeping with both eyes closed. This merchant might have more to give me than marvels from afar. Must be interesting traveling as much as you do. He will tell me what he knows. Though threatened merchant, popular opinion goes down. This should cover the trinket. No. No, you're going to tell me what you know. In the meantime here, we have won that siege back. That battle will be won, and now we will head south. But first we have a gift fit for. The hustle and bustle is palpable among the traveling merchant stalls. The temporary shacks are stacked to the rafters and contain all manner of knickknacks. These pieces look expensive, but maybe they would be worthwhile. As Queen Eleonora and I walk by one of the merchants peddling jewelry, she hesitates slightly as she leans in for a closer look. Perhaps one of these would brighten the day of my imposing wife. No, the gift for my company is good enough. We're not exactly on the best of terms. So now we're going to head down south. Mercenary company contract is expiring soon. Something I'm not overly concerned with. Now we're going to siege down the infidels' castles and defend our Iberian lands once and for all. I'm more than confident of that. Meanwhile, heading back up north here, England is dealing with defending against Duke Richard of Lancaster in the war against the tyranny of King Albert II. So there's an internal war. The English right now militarily are very, very powerful. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. And possibly, actually, you know what I'm going to do here? We're going to go to Duke Richard, and I want him dead. I want him dead at all costs. I do not care what happens, but first we have a new lifestyle perk, Forever Infamous. Dread Decay minus 1,000 unlocks the Murder Feast. So, heading back south, we've got a small contingent moving in there. That's going to take them a long time. We're going to win these sieges here first. All that glitters. My spy master, Count Vicence, approaches me with a wicked grin. My lord, this pouch contains a powder most nefarious. Sprinkled on top of something, say a gift for Duke Richard. It leaves no trace, but will afflict whoever touches it with weakness and ill humors. Well, 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 I would say he deserves the gift. The weight of influence. While I enjoy how willingly Mayor Rashid does my bidding, his kinsman Count Sancho remains outside of my reach. Rashid is just the man to help me change that, however. Rashid will help make him fear me. Weight of influence. I had lured Count Sancho to Mayor Rashid's dungeon on the mayor's invitation. There I waited to reveal that our host was a prisoner in his own home. I may have gotten a little carried away with the mayor's life in my hands, but I turned it into a delicate message about how I expect complete obedience. Even through Rashid's screams, Sancho got the point. So Mayor Rashid is blind. Let's take a look real quick at our schemes. We can invite someone here. Elizabeth, the Grand will bribe her for 72 to invite her to that scheme. I want that perpetual thorn in my side, dead. And we have now won this war. We will enforce said demands and disband our troops. We need a new steward. Mayor Arnaud, the counselor, he'd be really good. Pierre of Aragon. Yes, finally, he's a thrifty clerk. He can be assigned to said task, which will make him very, very, very happy. So we have defended the heartland of Aragon, and that is the end of the military company, but we have lost these lands. In the meantime, we have also lost this sliver right here in Normandy. And I am not happy about that. I think we've got some other internal support here, but Richard removing this King Albert, Duke Richard, I am not happy with that. Let's take a look here at what the war would be against King Albert the Insane. seize our de jure county or the rest of that. We've got 11,000. He has 14,000. We simply do not have the allies. So what that means is our daughter will have to be married away matrilineally, of course. And we need to find a new powerful ally that will lend military strength to reconquer Normandy. But maybe, you know, by killing Richard and then attacking England, we need to turn north. But of course, the other thing we can't discount the fact that Duke Richard, look at the lands he now has. He has Poitiers, he has Brittany, he has Champagne. He could potentially inherit Aragon. If we think about the line of succession, he would be the next in line after the princess. So someone is scheming to kill Henri. I wouldn't be surprised if it's his brother Richard. But more we will find out in the next episode here. If you enjoyed this one, please hit that like button, subscribe as always, and let me know your thoughts on this momentous and honestly setback. The first major real setback Henri has faced in his life. Until next time, I'm Realm Builder Guy, and I will talk to you soon.